Hey, it's Johnny Brock back for another episode of the Real Insurance Podcast, where we focus heavily on Medicare beneficiaries. Today's episode, I'm so excited about. But first, I just want to let you know you need to like, you need to comment, you need to subscribe, and send to your friends and family who are in similar situations. But today's episode is awesome because it shows you how to compare plans yourself. So instead of you as the Medicare beneficiary relying on someone else that you don't know and don't trust, I'm going to show you and I'm going to give you access to the links and to the programs that you can use in order to properly compare plans and also enroll yourself into those plans. So super excited about today's episode, a step-by-step guide on enrolling Medicare Plan Finder. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing is let me get up a good little. Let me share my screen here. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. We're going to share the screen. Share. All right, so this is the web page. So the link that you'll use is this link up here, which I will put in the description. You'll click that link and it'll bring you to this page. And the great thing about this is everything is so simple. It's case by case. It's simple. And what I mean by simple is it's step-by-step process. That's the whole objective here, is for it to be a step-by-step, easy process for you. Okay? So let's just use, I'm going to use I'm always using it Mississippi examples because that's where I'm from. We'll use a North Carolina one today. 27969. All right, so we'll click Find Plans. And it's going to take you to a page. This is important because what we're doing here is, in order for you to properly choose a plan for yourself, what do you need to do? There's an order of operations. First thing on that order of operations is your doctor's name. The cool thing about it is you can do a radius and it will pop up your doctor's name. If your doctor's name is, Angela Jones, right? Click Angela Jones. Boom, there we go. We got Angela Jones in there. Let's say that I'm using basic names. I don't know anybody's doctor's names in that area. There we go. We'll just put doctors in. Put your doctor's name in. Save and continue. Now here's your medications. So we'll put in your first four letters, and then a bunch of options will pop up down here. Keep in mind, it doesn't need to be exactly correct. If your drug says amlodipine and it doesn't say Bacillate after it, you could just choose it. Doesn't matter. It's okay. Not a big deal. As long as that drug name is on there, then we know that the formulary is covered. Okay, so we have rosuvastatin. We'll choose that one. We'll do another one here. We'll do metformin. Metformin is usually the HCl. You might have extended release. But again, as long as you have that primary medication name in there, you're going to be okay. We just need to make sure that it's in the formulary. And typically, you don't have any issues when it comes to medications as long as the name. I've helped over 3,000 people in this stuff. I can tell you right now, if you choose the name as most accurate as you can, you'll be fine. All right, so we'll save and continue. After this, we're going to put our pharmacy in. We'll just put Walgreens. Plan usage estimate. I never really think that this is that valuable because you never know what kind of medical conditions are going to come up. If you're not using your plan frequently right now, you might start using it frequently. So we want to get the most logical plan for you, and I'm going to go over that in detail here in just a second. Are you currently enrolled in a Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plan? We'll put yes on this. You could search your plan name. Right, we could do that. We're just going to put no for the video purposes. Current plan type, we'll say we have original Medicare. Save and view plans. All right, so now what's going to happen is we're going to pull up a bunch of a list of the see, it says 17 plans. So we have top 3 available plans. See 14 more plans in your area. The way that it's going to base your options is doctors being in network and medications being covered. That's what it's going to focus on. The system is going to automatically find the top plans for you based off of your medications and your drugs. All meds are covered. Says that one doctor is in network. Obviously, these doctors are made up, so doesn't really matter. But it's gonna tell you what doctors are in network and out of network. In my opinion, if you put your doctors in and it says that one of them's out of network, if it says they're in network, you're not gonna have any issues. I've helped so many people and I've never had an issue. However, sometimes out of network doctors will not appear as out of network. And what will happen is you can call that doctor and say, hey, do you take Humana or do you take United Healthcare or whatever? And they'll tell you yes or no. And then you can see if that plan that you wanted is actually something you can get. But you can also do filters over here. You can filter by HMO, PPO, all that, which I'm a big fan of HMO plans. I think that they are the up-and-coming programs. You can filter by company. So the important factors when you're looking at these are doctors and medications. Okay, that's the important thing. It says here, see covered meds. So we have all these medications are covered. If you keep going down, I'm sure we'll be able to see one where it says, oh, those are some pretty basic medications that I put in. So they're probably all going to be covered. But you've got a lot of options here with this particular set of doctors and medications. You have to, and here's the thing, it becomes a lot of work for the consumer. It's why it makes a lot of sense to just call into our office and one of our agents will help you, which all that information will be on the YouTube channel and on our website, therealinsurancegroup.com. But the bottom line is all this information is information overload. But there's an order of operations that you must follow. That order of operations is doctors. Make sure your doctors are in network. Okay. Then medications. Make sure all your medications are covered and they are as low cost as possible. So you should be able to see estimated annual cost is $0. If you had to, that means that your drug costs are it goes off of copays, co-insurances, all that stuff. That's your estimated cost, which is $0 for your medications. So this plan's all great, but honestly, with those medications, probably going to be $0 for most of your drugs anyway. So you don't start paying for anything until you have premiums on the plans. Now, back to what I was saying. The most important thing, as you can tell, I'm a little stopped up. I was a little under the weather this week. I'm starting on the back end of it, so that's good. But sorry if I sound like I can't breathe out of my nose because I really can't. But what you're looking at is you're looking at 4 things. This is the order of operations, okay? Doctors, medications, medication costs is make sure your doctors are in the network, and then medication costs, which is pretty much $0 on these medications. And then we look at your out-of-pocket exposure, max out-of-pocket costs. This one says $4,900. This one says $6,700. So of this plan and this plan, which one's better? Well, that's subjective, right? Because this plan might have stuff that this plan doesn't have. However, based off of your out-of-pocket exposure, max out-of-pocket $4,900 versus $6,700, it's a $2,000 difference. And the drug deductible is $255, whereas this one's $340. So there's always differences. But let me show you a little bit more in detail here. So what you can do is you can compare plans, right? So let's say we want to compare. This one says it has a Part B give back. So let's add to compare. It could be $2. Sometimes it is. Let's compare the United Healthcare plan. Compare up to 3 plans. This one's the Humana Choice give back. So let's compare plans. They're going to be side by side. It's always better to use a computer for this. However, you can use a phone, but a tablet or a computer would be preferred significantly. All right, keep in mind the star ratings of these plans. Star ratings is going to help you determine which one is rated, because these are rated by CMS. If CMS rates it a 4-star plan, then it's a good plan. 4.5, 5 stars, can't beat it. All right, so remember, doctors, we've already checked doctors at this point. We're not going to compare plans unless we've checked doctors to make sure they're in network. We're not going to compare plans if the drug costs are astronomical with one plan. We're not going to compare that plan because we don't want that plan, right? So let's look at the details here. So this one has a $107 give back into the Part B premium. What that means is that the Social Security check goes up $107 a month. Now, what I love about this is you see the difference here in in-network maximum out-of-pocket. It is $9,350 difference, or max out-of-pocket, so roughly a $4,000 to $3,000 difference. What that means is you have more out-of-pocket exposure for hospitalization, critical illness, stuff like that. But it gives you $107. You could use that $107 extra dollars you're getting to pay for extra coverage to cover this. So if I was turning 65 and I was going on a plan, I would heavily consider a give back plan because I would use that money to invest. So I'm not actually coming out of pocket any for those additional products that cover you for hospitalization and cancer and heart attack and things like that. All right, but let's look at a few more details here. So we have acupuncture. This has a $50 copay. Acupuncture is not covered under this program. It is covered under this one and this one. Fitness program. You're usually going to have a fitness program on all the programs. This one has meal benefit for 28 home delivered meals. So this one has more than this one. This one's 14 meals. This one's 28. This one's 14. And at this point, it's just a comparison. Which plan makes the most sense for me? It's pretty simple. Ambulance, $315. The difference between $290 and $315, not that big of a deal. So, who cares really about that? Chiropractic services. Also, if you have if you get a program with a hospital ambulance benefit, then say you get, look at this. So this one has a $170 give back. Well, the copays are the same. You just have a higher out-of-pocket maximum. So let's say you have an ambulance ride on this plan and you don't have a hospital plan. But on this one, you got the $107 give back. So you invested in the hospital plan and it actually pays the ambulance copay for you. So if you go to the ambulance, you get a $500 benefit and you make $185. Okay. Chiropractic services are typically covered under Medicare Advantage, which they're not as well covered under original Medicare. $15 copay on this one. This is a really cool plan. It just has a higher max out of pocket is all. The dental is not as good, but like I said, you can add dental into your package because of that $107 give back. This one has $2,500 dental benefits, so that's really good. $1,500 on the middle one here. All right, diabetic supplies. If you're a diabetic, which this person does take metformin, so then maybe they have some diabetic supplies. This program, if it's Medicare covered diabetic supplies, it's typically $0. That's great. Coinsurance for Medicare covered diabetic supplies. You have a 10 to 20% coinsurance, 20% on this one. This one has better diabetic coverage because it says therapeutic shoes and inserts is 20%. Everything else is 0. This one does have some stuff in here that would be 10 to 20%. This one as well. Let's see what I'm doing here. You're just comparing the options. Is all you're doing. Diagnostic tests, lab and radiology services, and X-rays. This is going to be, I believe that's MRIs, lab work, things like that. It's going to tell you, a wide range of things that could happen. The important thing to note here is that anything that's preventive care is going to be 0. So a lot of this stuff is not preventive care, but let's look at diagnostic procedures, tests, and lab services. If it's outpatient, it's $15. You have $0 to $50 for copayment for Medicare covered lab services. This one's right here in the middle. It's a lot more simple. $50 copay for diagnostic tests and procedures. Lab services is $0. This one in the middle here beats the other two for sure. But you can see how you're just comparing the options is all you're really doing. Doctor office visits are zero. Usually doctor's office visits for primary care physicians are zero all across the board. This one has a $15 in-network specialist visit. You can't use out-of-network for this one because it's a HMO. Same for this one. $50 for specialists on this one. So 50, 30, 15. So you see here, you have a $50 copay for specialist visits. That's because you're getting $107 give back. If you're okay with paying $50 when you go to specialists, which I am, then you use this one. Durable medical equipment up to 9% on this one. So this one has better durable medical equipment costs, and this one is 20%, right? So maybe you have the higher max out of pocket, but you have lower costs routinely. When you take that $107, say you take 100 of it and you invest it into hospital plus critical illness, the 9 times out of 10, or really 97 times out of 10 out of 100, you're going to reach that max out of pocket due to critical illness. So if you get a $10, $15, $20,000 cancer policy for critical illness and stuff and a hospital plan, then you're going to be fine. You're not going to hit that out of pocket maximum. You're going to spend less money on this plan with that than you are on these two. Because with these two, you don't have that extra money to spend. Maybe you don't want to spend any money. Emergency care is 125, 125, and 110. It's actually less on the higher out of pocket. Hearing services 15, 0, 50. These are exam copays. They'll make you pay a copay for your hearing aids, depending on the level of hearing aids that you get. Home health services is always covered by Part A of Medicare. Outpatient mental health services. You're just doing a comparison here. Outpatient prescription drugs. This is where chemotherapy comes in. Chemotherapy is up to 20%. You'll hit your max out of pocket immediately if you do chemotherapy. That's why you want to have a cancer policy. Outpatient rehabilitation services, cardiac and pulmonary rehabilitation services. I mean, you got all kinds of different rehab services. You got 25, 30, 25. Some are zero here, 15, 25, 25, 25, all across the board. As you notice, this one has out-of-network copays as well. I haven't been going over that. My goal is to keep my clients in network, so I don't have to worry about that. Outpatient surgery, $450, $295, $450. So this one in the middle has lower. See, as you've noticed going over this, guys, it's so even across the board. In my professional opinion, the most logical thing to do is to get one of those programs that has the Social Security increase through the Part B premium reduction and invest that money into extra coverage. You will come out, in my opinion, paying less for out-of-pocket costs almost every time. Over-the-counter benefit, this one doesn't have one because it's got the 107. This one has a $55 quarterly credit. This one has a $50 quarterly credit. Podiatry services, you're looking at $15, $30, and $50 copays. Preventive services are always going to be zero no matter what plan you choose. Prosthetic devices, see, this one's 20%, 20%, 9%. Dialysis is 20%. Again, you're going to hit the out-of-pocket maximum immediately. That's why you need something to cover you if you get dialysis. Urgently needed care, 45, 55, 55. So this one's less. See, you're just comparing. $300 for the middle here for contacts, $100, $150, or glasses. All right, inpatient hospital care. This one's important to note. $399 a day, days 1 through 7. $295 a day, days 1 through 6. $460 a day, days 1 through 5. So you're comparing. This one has less days that you pay, but higher copay. See how it evens out, everybody. This one here, what you would do is, because you have the $107 extra, is you'd get a $500 a day benefit while you're in the hospital. And you have a hospital card that you give them with that Humana card. You give the hospital and you don't have to pay anything. In fact, you should make $40 a day. Then what you do is you might get $500 a day for days 1 through 10. So that way, after you get out of the hospital, or if you stay longer than your copays are, you actually make $500 a day while you're there. Use that money for whatever you want. All right, so skilled nursing is an important one as well. First 20 days are free. Then it's $214 a day, days 21 through 100. This one's $203. You'll hit your max out of pocket fairly quickly with that type of situation as well. So what you can do is you get skilled nursing attached to the hospital plan. You don't have to worry about it. This goes over the tiers, which we have a whole other video on prescription drugs, which goes over the tiers and things like that. Basically tier 1 through 5 is your medication tiers. The higher the tier, the higher copay you have for the drug, but there's a $2,000 out-of-pocket maximum. The best thing to do, everybody, in this situation, after you choose the one you want, say you want to go with this one, click enroll. Then you just go down the list here. You're going to put your Medicare information in, which the reason that I can't go through this process with you, it's hard for me to do that, is because I have, it's hard for me to just make up a number. Let's try this. Let's try fake Medicare number. Let's try this one. There's a Medicare number that everybody uses for a fake Medicare card. Let's try that. The John L. Smith. Let's try it out. 1EG4 TE5 MK72. MK72. Okay, so we'll just use my fake information here. Skip pre-fill. All right, that's the best thing to do, actually. All right, so first name, we're just going to use my information. 19, we'll use a fake birthday here. Male, put our phone number, we'll put our email address in, put our address in. North Carolina, it's going to, based off the zip code that you gave it in the beginning, it's going to populate that. Is your mailing address different than your permanent residential address? Click no. Unless you have a P.O. box, click yes, and then put your mailing address there. Do you want to specify your race? I always tell people just click no on that. It really doesn't matter. It's not like they're going to give you more benefits if you're, black or Mexican or, you're not a white male. They give you more benefits. I don't think that they really care. They just ask for data. Click next. So what we can do is, we could just use 1EG4. See, I can't do that because those numbers right there are populated. I can't do that. So basically, you have to put your Medicare information here, put your Medicaid information there. We'll try it here. Let's do it like this. 1EG4 TE5 MK72. Go 03 2016 03 2016. There we go. Medicaid information. If you have Medicaid level, you put no. If you have Medicaid, though, that's for special needs plans. It's a totally different video. You need to go find it if you have Medicaid. I qualify for special enrollment period to make a change. I was affected by a weather-related emergency. So in this situation, a lot of times people are going to be doing it during the annual enrollment period, or maybe they lost employer coverage. This is the important part. This is where most people need help, is choosing the enrollment period. If I was recently, released from jail, I live in a long-term care facility. Like, there's a lot of different ways that you can qualify. For this case, we'll use I've lost some employer or union coverage. Say that we just lost it, and we're going to go into effect 10/1. These are 2025 plans. During the annual enrollment period, you'll be looking at 2026 plans. You see, it's invalid. It's not going to let me go forward here, but this is as far as I can take you to review those programs. Now, what I'm going to go over with you now is simple, okay? You, as a Medicare beneficiary, you can take things into your own hands. In the description, there'll be a little bit more information. But the truth is, you would be better suited to go over this with me before you do it. You can get some guidance from me by calling that number. Look here. This number right here, need help? It'll have you call me. Just call me directly. That's my cell phone number. Call me anytime, and I'll answer the phone. I'll record it because I have to by CMS guidelines. And then after we record that, or after we start recording and then I'm good to go, then ultimately it's simple. It's like, hey, help me out with this. And I will guide you through everything, and I'll make sure that you made the right decision. So anytime that you're on that platform and you decide that you just want to talk to me directly, you can do so by clicking call now. It's very, very simple. So bottom line is, you need a representative. You need somebody to help you out and make sure you're making the right decision. But But I'm a do it yourself type of guy also. So if you're that person, you definitely, if you've made it this far in the video, you're that type of person. So call me, make sure you're doing it correctly, and then I'll let you go and you can enroll yourself, no problem. Bottom line is, I appreciate you guys for joining in. Today, we learned how to enroll ourselves into our own plan as Medicare beneficiaries, which is extremely valuable, right? We also learned that in that process, you can call me directly and make sure that you're doing it right. We learned how to compare plans properly. We learned how to, go from A to Z, put medications in, put doctors in. So I applaud you for joining in. I applaud you for sticking with me this long. And if you're out there and you want to follow up with more videos, go to our YouTube channel at the Real Insurance Podcast. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless the USA, and God bless the Medicare coverage that you so trust. Thank you.